If you want to grow your business, you need to stop talking to everyone.
Let's tea talk about that.
Right, Darren, we're back in the car for another tea talk.
It's been a while.
It has been a little while. This is our first tea talk of 2025.
In the
car tea talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Yes, how you well? You good?
Very good. Yeah.
I say that as if we haven't been together all morning.
I know, yeah.
For our dear tea talk viewers, they want to know how you are.
They might want to know what we've been doing this morning.
Should we share with them what we've been doing?
Yeah. Well, we've been to a bit of a talk.
Yeah, we did a little. I was asked to.
Well, you were
speak.
Invited.
Yeah, you joined me.
I ended up getting up there as well.
Why not? Hey,
I just
it's all
sneaked
good.
my way in everywhere.
It's good. But no, we were asked to talk. Or I was asked to talk about Evergreen's journey over the last sort of couple of years. Lots of people follow us on socials, and someone reached out and said, "Hey, love the story, love what you're doing in Evergreen. Would you mind coming and talking to our group, which are essentially they're solopreneurs. They're the next generation of entrepreneurs. They're young business owners. Most of them sort of 30 or under 30, and keen to learn and keen to just pick my brain. So we had about an hour and a half session, just explained, gave a little bit of background on Evergreen and our journey of the last couple of years, and then had a long Q&A, which was really good, asking some really good questions. And you know, the feedback after was very positive. They've all just said how much they appreciate it.
And it's worth mentioning, we did, of course, record some of it for an uncut episode.
It will feature as part of an uncut.
Whether or not this comes out before or after, it will be somewhere.
Exactly. And as ever with our tea talks, we always try and make them very topical about what we're talking about.
Yes.
And one of the recurring themes of that conversation, of that talk, was this being, or basically having a business where you provide a service or a product or whatever, but you're trying to talk to everyone. Yeah. And it's very difficult to get cut through. And what most of those business owners, those solopreneurs were talking about is, how do you win new business? How I want to grow, but I just can't seem to find the clients. I can't seem to find the customers. I'm really struggling to grow. I'm really struggling to market my business.
Because when you're talking to everyone,
you are talking to no one. And that is, and something we were talking about a lot this morning, is that pain point. And there will be lots of business owners that can relate to that. How do you grow? How do you find new customers, new clients in a very, very competitive world? Yeah. And something that we were speaking about, and a real revelation that we've had in the last couple of years, has been, because Evergreen was guilty of that, you know. And what I shared this morning is I've run Evergreen for the best part of a decade. Yeah. We were always very specific on what we did. It was always, it was SEO in the past, and then it was paid media, and we've always been very clear, this is what we do. So we've been very good at that. But the problem is, we did it for everyone. And so it meant growing, acquiring new customers. It meant it very challenging, because you're talking to everyone, therefore you're talking to no one. So what do you do about it? Yeah. So what we've realized and what we've done is, you only need to be famous to a few. That's it. And that is the secret sauce, I think, of success.
Because I think what's really important with that phrase as well is that when you say a few, you mean a few in the grand scheme of things, but actually a few is still a lot.
Most businesses, for Evergreen, most small businesses out there can run an amazing business by only being famous to a few. You can interpret that however you want, but in this day and age, with everything seemingly being so competitive, it is incredibly difficult to stand out. And you end up just getting lost in the noise. You could have the best product, the best service in the world, but you just can't get cut. You can't cut through. And so what that means is, you're constantly pushing for new opportunities. You're constantly pushing to find your next client, your next customer. You're constantly pushing to try and be heard, to try and gain some traction. What you need to do is flip that on its head and actually, turn around and say, well, no, this is what we're really good at. This is our passion. This is what we love to sell or service or whatever. And actually, we are going to provide this service, this product, but to people like you. And so for us, it was home garden lifestyle brands. The big thing that has catapulted Evergreen on, more in the last few months, the last year or so, than at any stage in the past 12 years that I've run this business, was stapling our colours to the flag and saying, we are just going to work with businesses in this space. Now, the reason I was reluctant, and the reason a lot of people are reluctant to do that, is because you alienate everyone else. The fear of going, well, if I say that, all my other clients, all of the people that may want to work with me, well, they won't want to work with me. And that is true.
And that happened to us.
That absolutely happened to us. We lost a whole bunch of our clients. When we niched down and said, we're only going to work in this space, we lost some of our clients.
We did.
And that's fine. And we had people go, oh, well, you're no longer interested in working with us. That's fine. But the pain of that is so easily and so quickly offset by the traction that you can gain in saying, well, no, but I want to be famous to people like you. I love working with people like you. People like you buy my service, they buy my product, you cut through.
Yeah.
And that's what I was sharing this morning with those guys. And several of them came up to me after and were like, I love that. I've never thought about it like that. And it totally explains why I just can't get the traction, why I just can't find new customers, because I'm getting lost in a world of sameness, of everyone doing the same thing. I'm really good at there was a nutritionist there was people someone doing motion graphics, there was someone doing baby photography, there was someone doing clothing, there was all these different business owners, and I'm saying, but what is it you do and who do you do it for? Or the other, if you're bricks and mortar, it's what do you do and where do you do it? And becoming an authority and establishing yourself as the go-to expert for what and who or what and where.
Because I think people often underestimate just how many people there still are if you niche down.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying today's Tea Talk, you'll love our Grow with Evergreen podcast. Specifically created for home, garden, and lifestyle brands, it's a podcast dedicated to discussing paid media and marketing. Every episode, we're joined by a brand that wants to grow online. We delve into their business, dissect what they're doing, and define a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. And best of all, you get to listen or watch along, then take those learnings into your own business. Make sure you check it out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But for now, let's get back to today's Tea Talk.
Because if you say, I do this and I only do it in this set area, you tend to forget that even in a small town, there are still thousands of potential
tens of
customers.
thousands. Thousands of people, exactly.
And I think that's one of the things is that I've never found anything more universally the same as people being afraid to niche down because they're worried that they're not going to get enough audience.
But you choose a niche that's wide enough, like us, home, garden, lifestyle. That's still a massive sector. Yes, it means if you're B2B, if you're professional services, if you're one of many, many, many sectors, you're not for us. And that's fine. And it's like, find another agency that is for you. For us, and the reason we landed on home, garden, lifestyle is because we looked at our portfolio, we looked at the clients we most enjoy working with, we looked at the clients where we're getting the best results, we looked at the work we wanted to be doing, and we said, well, we just enjoy marketing home and garden lifestyle products and services over your local accountancy firm or your local pest controller or your professional services. We just found that your local your SaaS products, we find that more enjoyable. So for every business, and what I want to share on this Tea Talk is, if you are a business and you are really good at what you do, be it where you do it, and you go, well, this is my passion, this is what I love to do, but you're struggling to you're pushing for opportunities. What you need to do is, are you being clear enough and then communicating, which is the second part that we'll come on to, but about this is what we do and we do it for people like you. Because when you do, you cut through. And it's the old cliche of 2's competition, 3's a specialism. If you work in just 2 brands, in home and garden brands, it might be competing. But suddenly, when you work with lots, albeit different products, we don't have 2 competing products unless they're geographically tied. Suddenly, you've got a specialism. And now, all the business we've won and continue to win and the prospects that are coming to us, they're all saying the same thing. Well, we're coming to you because you specialise. They're all saying the same thing. And then what they're doing, and what we can come on to now is, then it's once you've specialised and you've stapled your colours to the flag, it's then that content.
That's it. And I think content is a really important thing. And it's, again, something that we spoke quite a bit about at that talk, was about how you've got to, basically, once you've got that niche, you make the content so that you're doing less pushing and more pulling.
Now we're just pulling. We are pulling opportunities towards us left, right, and centre because we're creating content. Whereas if you're not, we could be the best paid and creatives in the world, but if we're offering that to everyone, very hard to, not impossible, but very hard, and will take longer to cut through because we're going up against everyone. Whereas now we do the same paid and the same creative,
yes, we do,
but only to people like this. So if you're not people like those, you're not interested, you're not listening, fine. But if you are, actually, suddenly they're sitting up and taking note because it's like, well, work with people like us.
Suddenly we become not just another option, but we become the perfect choice.
Exactly that. And that's what we're seeing. And, and that's what I was relaying to these guys. I was saying suddenly, and then with the content, with that consistency of the content, and we've been religiously pushing our content.
We have never missed a week.
There you go. We never will, because we've got that consistency of content going out that every week, multiple times every week, is reinforcing this is what we do, what we're experts at, what we're passionate about, and this is who we do it for, people like you. And so that consistency in the content, in the creativity in the content, means when a business has a need, we are very quickly asserting ourselves as the go-to agency, and people are now coming to us and saying, right, we want to work with you because you specialise. And we're seeing that after 12 months. And we went into this thinking, this is going to be a long-term burn. This is going to take years. This is a long-term, going to take several years. Within the first 12 months, it had a game-changing impact on our business. And one of the big things, as we said this morning, is if we didn't have the niche and we were just creating the content, then I do believe it would have been a seriously long-term burn, because you go, well, we've got great expertise, we're going to share it, and it's going to take years to gain a foothold. Equally, if we had the niche but didn't create the content, we would still get more traction than if we didn't have the niche, but we wouldn't have got the traction anywhere near as quickly if we weren't doing the content. So it is that combination. And I think, to go back to the original point of, if you're talking, as you say, to everyone, you're talking to no one. And it becomes, growing a business is very difficult in that scenario.
And I think one of the comparisons I quite like to make about this is with the food industry. Because what does KFC sell?
Chicken.
They don't sell Italian food. They don't sell Indian food. They sell one type of food.
There you go.
And you often find this with restaurants. You have an Italian restaurant. You have a Mexican restaurant. Because trying to offer every type of food for because your audience is Italian food lovers, Mexican food lovers. If you try to do everything, you never see that, because it would be impossible.
It's a generalist over a specialist. And that's that has been the game-changing impact that we've seen, and that's what we've just shared with those guys this morning, and that's what we wanted to just share with you, is just try and get you thinking that if you were a business, whether you're doing your first few 100,000 or you're doing your first few million, because it's so often, that is one of the things we prescribe to, and we talk about it all the time when we're talking to our new clients. We've already had multiple conversations in the last couple of weeks with new clients, where we've said, what do you want to be famous for? What is it you want to be known for? Don't be a generalist e-commerce store. Don't be a generalist provider of, you may have a great product, but if you're not super clear on who that product is for, or if you provide a great service or product and you're tied geographically, then you need to be clear on, this is what we do and this is where we do it. Or if you're e-commerce, you may sell lots of different products, but you can't be famous for everything. And you can't just be famous for being e-commerce or being, as a sector as a whole. What is it that specifically that you want to go, I want to be known for this?
You can't say, I'm going to be famous for selling furniture.
Way too broad.
You have to figure out what it is that makes your furniture
what is it unique about you? Because that is how you gain traction, and you just become known for doing that thing.
And that could be the material you use.
Anything.
It might be the specific one type of product
the
you do
types
really
of
well.
Products, or who buys the product. It's going to vary business to business, but that combination has a massive impact in your ability to market, because, as we've said, with our content, with the stuff that we do, it's gaining that much more traction because we're clear on what we're talking about. That hasn't changed, and now we are, for the last year or so, have been really just hammering the point of, and it's content for people like you. And so if you're not that audience, you're not going to listen. Fine. And the other point as well to make, because then there will be people going, then okay, that sounds good. The other key thing we've had to realise, which is really important, is it doesn't matter about you're not going after volume.
No,
you're not going after. We don't create our content.
We don't get thousands of views.
Hundreds of views, but they're hundreds of the right views. We deliberately, and we've discussed. This is a little insight for everyone. We have sat down many times and we have said, do we go after and create content where we could have the YouTube titles a bit more clickbaity, a bit more where we know we would get, where we know we would get the volume because we would tap into the algorithm and we know we'd get more traction in terms of views. Yeah. But those views would not be our target audience. They would not be tying into who we're trying to talk to. Therefore, what's the point in doing it?
It wouldn't achieve anything.
Which is why the content we create and the topics we cover and the things we talk about, we know tap into the pain points of our target customer.
That's it.
And the people watching this T-Talks will be able to relate to this and go, yeah, actually, you're talking to me. That resonates with me. And that's why, hopefully, it's helpful and it's impactful.
And if you are one of those people and you're thinking, this does resonate with me, I think I am the target audience, then put it in the comments below.
Yeah, we'd love to know exactly.
Tell us what you do.
Yeah.
And we'll see
also, if this is giving you food for thought, and if you fall into that bracket of going, I'm really good at a thing, but I'm not clear, or I'm struggling to get traction, because it'll probably be, if you can relate to this and go, yeah, because I'm not clear on who it is. Yeah. Let us know. Just add a comment. Go, I am guilty of that. I was doing that, but now I've changed it. Let us know, because we'd love to know, because we know from even talking to our clients that is the case. And the ones that, if I think about our clients, the ones that are doing the best, the ones that are just pushing on and growing, even in the current climate massively, is the ones where they're really clear on excellent product or service and very, very clear, often through our help, of we do this and we do it here, or we do this and we do it for people like you. It's those ones that you just instantly gain so much more traction versus the ones where, well, we do this and anyone can buy the product, or we could service anywhere across the UK. If 80% of your work comes within a 20-mile radius, make the point that is what you do. That's who you typically work with.
Absolutely.
It's that. And so often, there's so many learnings there for businesses. So there you go. Hopefully that's been useful. Another little tea talk for you. Thanks so much for joining us. If you, as Darren said, if you leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Remember to subscribe. At the time of recording this, I think we're just shy of 500 subscribers.
On that creep.
It's going to be a milestone. We hit that. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. You can get Tea Break signing up on our website. That's our weekly newsletter that goes out with personal insights and paid media ideas. And yeah, if you haven't checked out our, I'm thinking what else I can plug. Yeah. If you haven't checked out our podcast,
go and check out Grow with Evergreen.
You can find that everywhere now.
If you're on YouTube, you're in the right place for that. I'll mention as well to get Tea Break, go to theevergreenagency.co.uk.
That would help, yeah. I'm just assuming everyone knows. Yeah. But you've got that. But yeah, you've got the Grow with Evergreen podcast, which is a weekly podcast where every single week, we've been doing it for almost a year now, it's madness, that has a guest on who runs a home garden lifestyle brand. They come on with their marketing challenges and we get into it for an hour. And we have been able to transform quite a number of businesses through those conversations.
Some success
really been able to
from that.
help businesses really just think differently and grow their businesses, which has been incredible. And I think where we've been doing that now for a while, we're getting those people reporting back going, this is amazing. I've really transformed my business. Also, I follow quite a few of our guests on Instagram. And do you know what I'm loving? I haven't told you this, but one thing I'm loving is I quite often will see on their Instagram that they're implementing some of the stuff. Like, they're running this event or they're doing this. And I always sort of love that because I just think they're actually taking the ideas, the suggestions we've come up with, and they're actually implementing it. Amazingly powerful. So I'm loving that. So make sure you find that. There's some hugely valuable conversations on there. We're almost back at the office now.
We are.
So we'll wrap this one here and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.